What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, good morning. Last night I was at an open mic. Thank you very much. Trying to learn and grow. Bombed. Totally bombed. Ate my dick. I'm trying to learn how to tell stories on stage because I get really envious of guys who can just tell these long, drawn out stories and hold the audience. But I am terrible at it because, I think in joke form. Like if you watch my comedy stuff, I've got a joke every 10, 20 seconds. So it's hard for me. Man, bombing though, I'm never gonna feel comfortable bombing. I don't know how people can just sit there on stage in silence. I see people just staring at me and there was is something gonna be funny here? Then I feel guilty. I'm like, man, I'm just punishing these people. But I guess that's the process. But you know who is a great storyteller is Dave Chappelle. Let me say this. I was a huge Chappelle fan, from the start. When I was 16, I think 17, I discovered him. And he was a young comic in his 20s. He had a lot of buzz real early. And I remember I went to the Comedy Connection in Boston to go watch him, and he was really funny, and I got a photo with him. Woody Allen says that people identify with you as a funny person first, and then the jokes are just kind of there. And I think that's what Chappelle was to me. He was just funny as a person. He's got that wiry frame back in the day, the way he spoke, the way he just, used voices, the way he acted out bits on stage. He was just the complete package at a really young age. By the way, then I went to New York City and I found this guy named Tony Woods. And apparently Chappelle took a lot of his mannerisms and then, kind of made it his own. So check out Tony Woods too. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. Not discrediting Chappelle because Chappelle was also a magnificent joke writer. But I'm just saying that everybody starts from something. So anyways, I've been following Chappelle's career for years, from his TV show, which was great, his sketch show, his specials, his HBO Young Comedian Half Hour, whatever that was. He shot in San Francisco, really funny. And even his last few specials are pretty good. I really like that Chappelle doesn't pull any punches. He's a guy which, he'll go after, well, he won't go after, but he'll talk about transgender stuff. He'll talk about Kanye. I mean, his SNL stuff. He's talking about Jewish people. I mean, the guy is walking the line, and I don't think he's necessarily trying to be shocking. I think he's just reflecting the way he thinks. And the great thing about comedy is once you have a certain amount of FU money, you really stop caring what people think about you. I mean, that's the beauty of comedy. I mean, that's why Louis C.K. I think was great. I mean, that's why Richard Pryor in the 70s was also good. These people, just they reached a certain point and they were like, I don't care what I say on stage. Like me, don't like me, I'm going to say what I say. George Carlin, another person. I mean, even Joan Rivers, you could say, if you want to throw a female in there. I'm just going to throw this in here for comedy fans. When I was hanging out at the Comedy Store in LA, Chappelle would come by to try out new material. And whenever he'd come in, everybody would run inside oh my God, Chappelle's here. And standing room only. One time I pop my head in. And dude, the guy just meanders on stage for 4 hours, just talking through bits. He doesn't even have any punchlines. He just kind of talks through stuff. And I guess that's his process. But to me, it's kind of like watching a homeless guy ramble on the street corner for a day. You're like, man, what am I watching here? But people, people love seeing famous people on stage. So it works for him. And the important thing is, once you have your bits, you polish them, take out all the fat, and then you put it on TV, which is what Chappelle does. And I give SNL a lot of credit for putting Chappelle back on, a broadcast, mainstream platform, because I'm sure they got a lot of heat. I think some of their writers didn't want to write for Chappelle. But look at the numbers. Again, this is a numbers game with money, right? Chappelle's first episode I read got 9 million views, which is crazy. And even this one got 4.8 million. And I think the two before that Chappelle did not host got 4 million. So he almost beat them by 1 million more views. So there's a reason why they're putting on Chappelle, even if he brings all these headaches from these organizations. There's money to be made from bringing him on. And look, he's still Dave Chappelle. He's done so much. And I think that's the thing about comedy. You got to respect people who have kind of paved the way for other comedians. And I think Chappelle's definitely a guy who has had major influence on younger comedians, because right now the state of comedy is so diluted, it's so weak, honestly, in my opinion, that guys like Chappelle, Louis C.K., they're needed. End of the day, these guys are not going to be around forever. And like, who do we have then? We got like, Andrew Schultz or another one of these guys who are like in their 20s and 30s who are coming up, which is fine. I mean, it's just not for me because I'm not part of that generation. I think these guys who have kind of paved the way for other comics, you have to give them their respect. So let's see what happens with Chappelle. I don't think anything's going to happen, honestly. I mean, he's lasted this long. That's the best thing about comedy fans. Like, when they're with you for life or until you die. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk soon. Take care.